Well, hello, everyone. This is Mitchell Moat, an extension agent here with the University of Tennessee and the Tennessee State University Extension Program in Rutherford County. And I'm pleased to bring you today episode number 3 in our Yard Smart series for 2022. You know, this spring has been similar to past springs in Rutherford County in regards to the seasonal business that's generated here at the Extension office. As spring progresses, the number of phone calls and visits to the Extension office from residents that are seeking information about planting or pruning or fertilizing or identifying and controlling various pests and so on typically increases. Now, I have received one question in particular multiple times so far this spring, but there has been some variation now in how this question is asked. Specifically, the folks that are asking the question are generally falling into one of two categories. Now, in the first category, people are generally calm and they're very collected as they ask, what is this light green grass that grows so much faster than my tall fescue? And then they'll show a physical sample of the grass in question that they've brought in for us to look at here at the office, or they'll show numerous pictures of the mystery grass that they've stored on their phones. Now, the folks in the second category aren't nearly as calm as those in the first category, but they're asking the same basic question and they're sharing the similar samples and pictures as were the people in the first category. But they're much more animated and they seem to be more disturbed as they refer to this mystery grass with colorful adjectives. Now, in both instances, the grass in question, we can see an example of it pictured here, is this bunch grass. Here's a little closer image of it, and you can plainly see that it's a lighter pale green color and coarser textured than the turf type tall fescue that is growing in. Some folks refer to this, at least one gentleman did, as a demon grass. Well, what we have here is something called orchard grass. And orchard grass is a perennial cool season bunch grass and is valued pretty highly as an excellent quality forage for multiple livestock species. But because its appearance is so much different than the turf type tall fescues or other cool season grasses, it isn't valued very well in a lawn by lawn enthusiasts. Now, it's considered to be a crop. So if if you purchase a bag of turfgrass seed, the bag is going to tell you on there, what percentage of purity it is, whether it has any weed seed in it or not, and depending on the weed species, it may list what those weed seed are, and then it may have something on there called other crop seed. Well, because orchard grass is considered as a crop and not a weed, it would not be counted in the weed seed category. And then if there were any there, it would be included in the other crop section, and it may or may not be identified as a species. But it's not uncommon for folks to get a little orchard grass, in a bag of tall fescue seed periodically. Now, after the question comes out, what is this stuff? Then the next question is, can I kill it without killing the tall fescue? Well, and the simple answer, I guess, is not with an herbicide. There is not a selective herbicide product that's available that will allow you to control orchard grass and a tall fescue planting without damaging the tall fescue. So what can you do if you've got a fair number of patches of orchard grass out here in your fescue lawn, and it does take away, from the uniform appearance? Well, probably the better option out there would be to spot spray those areas with a non-selective herbicide such as, glyphosate. Glyphosate's the active ingredient in Roundup and other brands, but spot spray those spots in the late summertime, and then reseed or overseed those areas that you did spray the orchard grass out of in the September-October timeframe, which is the recommended time for establishing cool season grasses like tall fescue here in Middle Tennessee. Now, another weed problem or a grass weed problem that has seemed to become more prevalent, more common here locally over the past several years, we've got an example of it pictured right here. Now, this is a grass that's called little barley. Okay, and here you can see little barley, or why I guess its name, because it has that grain-like or that barley-like seed head. And one of the reasons it's problematic, well, a couple of reasons. Number one is it doesn't look anything like tall fescue, so it takes away from the uniformity. And the fact that it is a winter annual means that it is going to die as spring progresses towards summer. That little barley is going to complete its life cycle, and it's going to totally die, turn brown. In those areas where the little barley was growing in a tall fescue or a Bermuda grass or a zoysia grass turf, it is going to be brown dead grass there. So what are control options for controlling little barley? Well, probably in a tall fescue or cool season turf, kind of like you see pictured here, the best recommendation that I can give to you would be to improve your cool season turf density in the fall of the year through overseeding or through renovation. A dense population of tall fescue or other desirable grasses is going to help keep down the amount of little barley germination that takes place. And so if you can keep the germination rate low, then you're not going to have the population out there to deal with later on in the season. So that's the first thing. Do your overseeding, follow good management practices to maintain a good dense stand of tall fescue. And once you get that population of tall fescue up at a desirable level, then you might consider using a pre-emergent application applied during the late summertime period in subsequent years to help minimize some of the germination on the little barley seed that may be left in the seed bank there in the soil. Likewise, if you have a warm season turf like Bermuda grass or zoysia grass, you could consider a late summer pre-emergent herbicide application as well to help keep little barley germination and growth down during the fall and the wintertime period. I would point out to you that if you have on your mind to do any overseeding of desirable turf, then you cannot use that pre-emergent product during that same period, because the pre-emerge cannot differentiate between a desirable seed versus a weed seed, and it's going to interfere with your desirable seed germination as well. Folks, if you have questions about related to this topic, lawn care or landscape maintenance, installation, would need help with identifying what a particular pest problem might be, vegetable plants, or anything related back to agriculture or home horticulture, give me or one of the other agents here at the Extension Service Office a call. Our phone number is listed right here. The office number 898-7710. My email address is listed here, mmote1@utk.edu, and normal business hours at the office are 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. Well, folks, I believe that's about all that I have for you today. I hope you found this information useful, and I hope you'll tune in again. But until next time, this is Mitchell Mote from the University of Tennessee and the Tennessee State University Extension Program saying so long.